Some of the music playing in this house tonight, like this is why I'm using this microphone instead of this one, because this one picks up everything throughout the entire house. And there's just so much music playing upstairs. But anyway, listen, I watched this wonderful live stream simulcast across two channels with Steve Schnee and with Grant's Rock Warehouse. Really, really fun stuff. Now, I just want to say about Steve Schnee. This guy is a liar, okay? And I'm going after him right now because he said that I didn't subscribe to him. Sorry, someone's messaging me. He said that I didn't subscribe to him. I subscribed to you a long time ago. I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, Steve is one of the original YouTube reviewers who talked about the Bay City Rollers in a positive light. And I loved it. I really enjoyed, there were some ups and downs in what he was talking about, but it wasn't an attack on the Rollers, right? And then to see that he's back again, and he's doing this thing with Grant's Rock Warehouse where they're doing a live stream of their top 10. Now, I missed half of it because I logged into Facebook just as I was about to record some Motown, actually. And I just checked out Facebook, and I saw this link on Phil Hendrick's timeline, and I was like, oh, I know Steve. I got to check this out because this guy, he's smart, right? This is a smart guy. I got to check this out. And it was very enjoyable, and I missed the first 4 records that they went through, but then they went through the rest. And I think they both ended on Elevator being like their favorites. And who can argue with that? You know, I was saying before that Hello and Welcome Home is like a tremendous Wings level composition. And the way they changed it from Rabbit to what they did there, everything just worked out really well. Like it's just really incredible. And so I'm not actually going to discuss like my top 10. Like my favorite album by the Rollers changes every day. Once Upon a Star is one of my favorites. There's just so much going on there. There's so many questions I have about it, right? Elevator is also a favorite, and this is an album that actually I had a person that I respect who has collected tens of thousands, I think, of albums contacted me saying, hey, I picked up Elevator. I was at a record sale. I picked up Elevator and Ricochet because I've seen that you said these are good, and you really enjoyed Elevator, right? It's a tremendous album that any record collector, I think you should probably have it in your collection especially if you're into power pop. But there's a little bit of new wave in there, and there's a little bit of Brit pop. Like it just fills so many. There's so many genres that flow through that from that point in time, right? I will be right back. 1 second. Anyway, so it was very great to see these two very knowledgeable people talking about the music and all of the influences, right? Because my background is in, as you can see in my shirt, Northern Soul, Motown, a little bit of rockabilly, Stax, right? Beatles, British Invasion, but it's nice to hear their opinion on things because they have such a varied taste in music, and their understanding of power pop, which I admitted early on is like, this is something that I don't have a lot of knowledge about, so it's great to hear. So I'm putting a link, and I encourage everyone to go and check it out. Yeah, go and check it out, and go ahead and subscribe, and I think that we can all learn a lot from them. Now, the thing is, I was joking earlier about Steve saying, that I'm not subscribed to him, but you wouldn't know that I am, and the problem is that every night I have to come in here and screw around with my Vox amplifier or my Tweed amplifier, try to get my guitar to sound okay, and then try to record something because that's my hobby right now, right? And so, like, I used to also watch and contribute to Phil from Wings of Pegasus. And what happened was my time was like there's just less and less and less and less time because I have let's say I even have 3 or 4 hours now. Well, it takes 5 hours for me to produce one Motown cover that I'm doing, right? That's a 5 hour thing. And so I have not been watching enough of this stuff. But I'm just saying that these two people are very knowledgeable. Like, go through the stuff that Steve has posted. Oh my God. Like, I'm just in a state of shock. Because, yeah, I am a subscriber and I go through and I'm like, oh my God, like, how much stuff do you know? How many CDs do you have? I have a lot of records. I collect records rather than CDs. Now, the reason for that is that, for a long time, DACs were not good and they didn't have a volume adjust on them. And so the input going into audiophile amps was too high, and then you had this, things were breaking up. There's a lot of complication around it. But I have a very good DAC now, and I have a very good transport, and I do listen to my CDs now. Like, for example, Northern Soul. Northern Soul is the most expensive form of music to collect on vinyl. I tried it, and I gave up, okay? And this is from a guy living in Toronto. Martin Koppel, who runs Cops, okay, was the guy that was finding all of these rare Motown and Northern Soul singles and shipping them off to the UK. I've been into his shop many times. Well, he has many shops now. But I mean, like the number of 45s available in there, because Northern Soul is all about 45s, it is absolutely astounding and incredible. What a hero this guy is to the Northern Soul community, and here he was in Toronto this entire time, right? But my point is that I have a ton of Northern Soul CDs, and Northern Soul collectors would be like, well, it's all about the 45s. Yeah, I can't afford the 45s. So I think I have 100 CDs, let's say, with an average of like 45 songs each. Like, I have so much Northern Soul. It's actually absolutely incredible. But I don't collect it. Now, I've gone off on a weird tangent, so I have to listen back to this and get back. I'll be right back. Yeah, so the point is that I don't collect CDs, and I think, but Steve is really onto something, because I know there are CDs that are worth collecting, right? But that's specialty knowledge. I collect things like the first Ramones album, First Pressing, because that has, I know that has a very good, the sound distribution on that is very good between the highs and the lows, right? And it gets worse and worse over time. But I'm sure there are CD versions that are mixed very well, right? I just don't know about them. So a lot of times, like for me, it's just easier. It's like, okay, I want the first pressing of the first Black Sabbath album. I want the first pressing of the first Ramones album. It generally comes down to stuff like that. And if I can't get that and I can't afford it, then, well, you can see there's some John Lee Hooker, I think, there behind me. Now, that King Crimson, that is an original first pressing King Crimson. But that John Lee Hooker, that is a reissue because I cannot get, what I'm looking for. And it's decent. It's decent. But my point is that Steve's onto something in the sense that not all CDs are bad, right? It really depends on the effort that is put into preserving them. Now, I want to talk about Bay City Roller CDs. So the Arista 5 CD set is very, very good. All of the other stuff that I've come across, I am not happy with, and I stick to my like promo copies or my other copies of those records. And it really shows that I think that the major labels do not like to give out, perhaps, the very good copies, very good digital copies of things, but also maybe the time isn't spent on it. So music is very complicated, and I think Steve made a point in this stream that I'm linking to that, streaming, and maybe I shouldn't call it a stream, but in this video, but also, that he's not keen on streaming music. And there are so many problems with streaming music. The bands don't get paid. The music can disappear. You do not know where the music came from. What is the dynamic range of this? What master tapes were actually used? We don't know this, and I agree with him 100%. Like, it's an absolute mess, and it's to no benefit of the bands at all that this is happening. The only benefit is convenience. And if music is about convenience, then it's like, okay, time to walk away. Because music is about humanity and heart and soul. That's the reality of it. And if that gets turned into it's just a matter of convenience, then, it is time to walk away and to say to hell with those guys. But anyway, thanks to these two for this. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I know I've pontificated enough tonight. I pontificate every single time I start to talk. Maybe I should have gone into a different profession. But no, follow these guys because I think obviously there's much we can learn from them. That's my opinion on it. Anyway, great show, guys. Have a good night.